Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
That's
Hey.
everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party. Yeah, that's what's up.
Making my way, Diddy, dressing.
This is a lot of the personal footage of Diddy. It shocked a lot of people. And I know, 50, the way you run, this cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make the, it was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot, you had to pick and choose things like.
So are you coming out? I know next year is gonna be a number 2, season 2.
I just put it on.
Things are looking extremely rough for Diddy right now, and the pressure around him keeps stacking higher every single day. A wave of unexpected videos has erupted across the internet, clips that were buried for years suddenly resurfacing without warning. And on top of that, he just sold his signature matte black private jet, the same aircraft he flexed nonstop across social media, the one he used to show off his luxury lifestyle. That jet is officially gone, sold quietly and quickly, and many believe this move signals the beginning of a massive collapse in his empire. Why? Because selling an asset like that isn't something a mogul does unless there's real trouble behind the scenes. And that's exactly what sources are now hinting at. This script will break down every viral tape, every circulating clip, and every piece of leaked footage currently shaking the internet. These aren't small random posts either. We're talking karaoke videos that had viewers raising eyebrows the second they dropped.
Hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that.
Wild party footage from past events that looks a lot different under today's spotlight, disturbing leaked audio that's been analyzed frame by frame, and even behind-the-scenes recordings from events once considered harmless. Each tape adds another layer to the growing narrative that Diddy's world is unraveling in real time. Social media has been in a frenzy, pushing theories, timelines, and breakdowns that all point toward one conclusion. The fallout isn't slowing down, but the tapes are only one part of the equation. The sale of his private jet is the other major sign that something serious is happening behind closed doors. That jet wasn't just transportation. It was a symbol of influence, wealth, and untouchable status. For years, it was front and center in his brand. So when it disappears from his portfolio instantly and quietly, industry watchers take notice.
Next year is gonna be a number 2, season 2.
I just put it on YouTube.
I just put it on YouTube. Well, we can subscribe and get it.
According to insiders, the sale wasn't a strategic business move, but a forced reaction to mounting legal pressure, rising costs, and the kind of scrutiny that makes every high-value asset feel radioactive. The timing isn't a coincidence. It lines up with the largest wave of legal complications he has ever faced. To understand why the tapes are resurfacing and why Diddy is unloading luxury assets, the full context matters. Right now, he's sitting inside the Federal Correctional Institution at Fort Dix, and his legal situation is changing fast. All of this chaos began back in March 2024, when federal agents raided his Los Angeles and Miami homes in a coordinated operation that shocked both Hollywood and the music industry. Those raids weren't quiet inspections. They were large-scale federal actions that sent a message, and the images from that day went viral instantly. Agents were seen moving through every room, collecting evidence, removing tech devices, and loading sealed containers into black SUVs. It was a surreal moment that sparked questions across the world. How did it reach this point, and what would come next? The situation doesn't just look bad, it keeps escalating. Multiple lawsuits have now been filed against Diddy, each one adding more weight to an already collapsing foundation.
A lot of the personal footage of Diddy, it shocked a lot of people. And I know, 50, the way you run, this cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make the, was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot, you had to pick and choose things, like even in the area where he chooses to date people who he knows previously dated someone. He has a baby by a woman that was dating Tupac.
Wow.
To add to it, but we had to cut it down so it could.
For time.
What many people don't realize is how serious the stakes truly were behind the scenes. If convictions had landed on the highest level charges, the Southern District of New York was fully prepared to seize everything. That means cash accounts, real estate, luxury vehicles, intellectual property, every asset connected to his name. Total forfeiture was on the table. That reality explains why liquidating assets right now makes complete sense. Legal defense at this scale demands enormous financial resources, and with lawsuits stacking up simultaneously, attorney fees alone can reach staggering levels. Every move happening now appears calculated for survival, not luxury. With that context established, attention turns to the tapes currently circulating online, footage that many describe as deeply unsettling. These clips aren't just random uploads, they're resurfacing in waves, each one fueling public outrage and raising serious questions. One of the most discussed reactions came from Aubrey Oday, a former collaborator who had direct personal experience working alongside Diddy. Her perspective has added fuel to an already raging fire. During a recent podcast appearance, Aubrey addressed the situation head-on, and her words carried significant weight. She described the legal proceedings as highly public, emotionally disturbing, yet ultimately inadequate. According to her, what has unfolded so far doesn't even represent 1% of the justice the victims truly deserve. That statement alone sent shockwaves across social media, 1%. That framing suggests something far more troubling, that even with public trials and global scrutiny, the system still falls drastically short of accountability. She went further, explaining that the legal system often operates to shield powerful figures, not just one individual. The implication was clear. This isn't an isolated case. It points toward a broader pattern where influence, wealth, and connections create layers of protection.
Yo, LeBron, I talk to enough whores in Canada. I've talked to enough people. Maybe Drake will keep teasing it. Let me just tell you what I've heard. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-mans, okay? You've been cheating on your goddamn wife. Drake used to facilitate the host, and basically, essentially, you can't dance to a song about him being a... He used to supply you with... I'm sorry, my nigga.
According to her comments, there are others who have committed actions far worse than what's currently being discussed, yet remain untouched. That revelation reframes the entire situation from a single scandal into something much darker, a systemic failure that prioritizes preservation of power over justice. That perspective matters because it shifts the focus away from one name and toward an entire structure. The resurfacing tapes, the legal pressure, the asset sales, all of it starts to feel like symptoms of a much larger issue. The discomfort around this story isn't accidental. It forces a hard look at how many situations never reach this level of exposure and how many stories remain buried. And as more footage continues to surface, the narrative only grows heavier, more complex, and more disturbing. The conversation online shifted fast, and it wasn't subtle. One viral video didn't just call out Diddy, it dragged a whole lineup of major Blackmail celebrities into the discussion.
Party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Names like Tupac, Biggie, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Chris Brown were mentioned directly, raising a question that hit the culture like a punch. Are people still willing to support artists who have harmed Black women? That clip didn't hold anything back, and the message hit hard because it forced accountability into a space that usually protects stardom. One of the strongest points in that video was about consent, explained in a way that cut through all the noise. Consent can be revoked at any moment.
You did it all, man. Come here. Bro, real quick, bro. Y'all niggas.
A yes at the beginning doesn't mean the answer stays yes. That's a reality a lot of people conveniently ignore, especially when the person involved is rich, famous, or powerful. The video pushed the audience to face a real question. Now that all this information is out, what changes will actually be made? Will people still stream their music, show up to their concerts, and elevate them? Or will accountability finally mean something in this industry? It's a conversation that a lot of people keep running from, and that silence is part of why these patterns keep repeating. But things got even more chaotic when reports surfaced about Diddy's staff. Several insiders claimed that people working for him haven't been paid since he entered prison. His official spokesperson responded quickly, insisting that everyone is being paid and that no one has quit.
Even know what said. I do not LeBron James trafficker, my nigga. Trafficker. He is a trafficker. He trafficked women in real time.
But individuals close to the situation told an entirely different story. One where employees walked away because checks stopped coming and promises went nowhere. According to these insiders, the real issue isn't Diddy refusing to pay, it's the financial gatekeepers now controlling access to his money. A company called TriStar Sports and Entertainment is reportedly managing his finances while he's locked up, and they're enforcing strict protocols before releasing funds. That means every payout must pass through slow approval systems, delays stack up, and people get tired of waiting. The situation even extends beyond staff. His family is being impacted too. His mother, Janice Combs, and his children are reportedly facing problems getting access to money for daily needs. Imagine going from private jets, unlimited access, and constant luxury to being told no repeatedly because someone else is controlling the account. It's a dramatic fall from power. And while sympathy is low due to everything that's come out,
it's important to note that these names are not being sued, but they are named as witnesses inside this lawsuit, those names being Jay-Z, Beyonce, Gloria Estefan, as well as LeBron James.
It still shows how fast someone's reality can collapse. The lifestyle can disappear almost instantly when the money pipeline freezes. But that's not even the wildest part. The New York Post dropped another major bombshell, reporting that they've obtained tapes from Diddy's so-called Freakoff parties, tapes that investigators were allegedly able to date and verify. These aren't rumors or whispers anymore. These are documented recordings with timestamps, locations, and people identifiable in the footage.
He claims that he had, in the beginning of this lawsuit, he claims that he woke up in a mansion, this is way back in April of 2015, in a mansion owned by Gloria and Emilio Estefan, and when he woke up, not knowing how he got there, he was then led through a tunnel to Diddy's house, and we can confirm that Diddy, his home is nearby to Gloria and Emilio Estefan's home, and once he was through this tunnel, he eventually came across and claimed that LeBron James was walking by in a towel of sorts, saw him in rough shape, and said, someone's got to do something about it.
Sources claim investigators used travel logs, phone data, and guest lists to match events with what's visible on the tapes. That means the timeline is becoming clearer, the evidence is stacking up, and whatever defense Diddy is trying to build is now under even more pressure. The release of these new details is shifting the public conversation once again, making it harder for anyone to deny how deep and twisted this situation truly is. These tapes are turning the whole situation inside out, and the timeline makes everything even crazier. According to what's being reported, the videos come straight from 2004 and 2005, specifically from VMA after-parties and multiple Super Bowl weekend events. And the breakdown of what investigators found is nothing short of wild. At the 2005 VMA after-party, everything started out like a typical celebrity-packed event. Eva Longoria, Paris Hilton, Ice-T, Quincy Jones, big names, big energy, nothing out of the ordinary. But once those A-list faces dipped out, the whole environment flipped instantly. Suddenly, the vibe was completely different. The room filled up with young men and women in various stages of undress, moving around freely while the atmosphere shifted into something way more explicit. According to the source, people were openly engaging in physical acts, and one woman in the background clearly had white powder under her nose. Anyone watching could guess what that implied, and the confirmation was airtight. Diddy was wearing the exact same white t-shirt seen in official photos from that night, a shirt with "God is the greatest" printed across the front in black lettering. Investigators matched the shirt, the venue layout, and the guest list, confirming the footage really was from that exact after-party. But that wasn't the only disturbing recording. There was also footage tied to Super Bowl weekend in February 2005. Diddy hosted a massive gala featuring Ashton Kutcher, Ashley Simpson, Joe Francis, and several Hollywood insiders. But the real chaos didn't start until hours after the gala ended. That's when the party moved to a $20,000 per week mansion Diddy was renting, a number that shows how intense his lifestyle was at the time. One of the videos from that night reportedly shows two men together in a private moment while laughter echoed across the room. And here's the part that shocked investigators the most. Based on the angle and movements, it looked like Diddy might have been holding the camera himself. It appeared to be filmed from his point of view, as if he was documenting everything while being part of it. A federal law enforcement source said the contents of these tapes line up with information they already possess. Now investigators are focused on determining whether everyone shown was there willingly, or if some individuals were being trafficked. That's the question that changes everything. Were these wild parties just consensual adult events, or were people being controlled, manipulated, or coerced behind the scenes? As if that wasn't enough chaos, things got darker when lawyers representing alleged victims confirmed what insiders have been whispering for months. These tapes are being shopped around Hollywood. One attorney said a person reached out to them directly, offering to sell a specific tape involving one of the victims. They contacted the lawyer before releasing it, basically giving the victim a chance to buy it first, a tactic known in media circles as catch and kill. According to the lawyer, this wasn't speculation. This was an actual attempt to shop a sensitive video privately before it hit the public. The idea that footage from these parties is floating around in back rooms being sold like contraband is shocking on its own. But the fact that someone tried to profit off it before investigators even finished their work makes the situation even more disturbing. She revealed that someone directly contacted her attempting to sell a video, one that included Diddy and another extremely high-profile celebrity, not just some random name either. She said she watched the footage with her own eyes, and the other person in the tape is even more famous than Diddy himself, a face anyone would recognize instantly. There was no blurring, no confusion, no guessing, just clear, undeniable visuals. And the wild part? That's only one of the tapes floating around. Multiple videos are being shopped across Hollywood right now, passed around like secret currency. This is the textbook definition of catch and kill. Someone comes to you saying, buy this tape or I'll leak it to the whole world. That's straight up blackmail. And insiders claim several celebrities are being hit with this tactic. Imagine getting that phone call, somebody telling you they've got footage of you doing something you never wanted exposed. That's a nightmare scenario. And honestly, the reality is simple. If there was nothing to hide, nobody would have anything to sell. That's just the truth of the situation. Now let's talk about that karaoke video with Diddy and Meek Mill, because the internet is still losing it over this clip. The video is awkward on a whole different level. Meek Mill says something strange while they're singing, and Diddy spins around with this shocked, almost confused look like he couldn't believe what he just heard. The vibe in the room instantly shifted, and people watching the clip said you could feel the tension through the screen. That video immediately brought back memories of that alleged audio leak from last year, the one everyone talked about nonstop. The audio came from a massive 70-page lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a producer who worked closely around Diddy. In that lawsuit, there was a mention of a redacted Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Even though the lawsuit tried to hide the name, the footnotes described him so specifically, there was only one possible person. The lawsuit claimed there was inappropriate behavior between Diddy and that rapper. After those details came out, the internet went wild, revisiting old interviews, old photos, and even listening to dreams and nightmares with a whole different perspective. It created a wave of speculation that never fully died down. The timing of this karaoke video surfacing now, right in the middle of Diddy's ongoing downfall, only made everything look even messier. People started questioning Meek Mill's involvement, asking what really happened behind the scenes, and why these strange moments keep popping up around his name. Whether the allegations are accurate or not, the lawsuit alone put a spotlight on things the public was never supposed to see. And then came the next twist. TMZ released brand new footage of Diddy inside Fort Dix prison. What shocked everyone wasn't the footage itself, but how he looked. He wasn't stressed, he wasn't angry, he wasn't breaking down, he looked calm, almost relaxed. Some viewers said he even looked content, like he wasn't worried at all about what was happening outside those walls. Others thought it was weird because someone facing the kind of heat he's facing should be looking broken, not comfortable. The footage showed him walking in the yard, interacting casually with inmates, and moving around like someone who had already accepted his new reality. And the internet instantly started questioning why he looked that comfortable. Was he confident nothing would stick? Did he already know which tapes were real and which ones couldn't hurt him? Or was he just putting on a front, trying to convince the world that nothing could break him? Whatever the reason, the footage only added more fuel to a situation already spiraling with leaks, lawsuits, and video drops every single week. The account continued with an explanation of how fame and power created emotional pressure that felt impossible to resist. The individual described believing that proximity to wealthy and influential figures would open doors to a career in music and entertainment. That belief, according to the testimony, became a form of emotional coercion. The opportunity felt too important to walk away from, especially for someone young, ambitious, and unfamiliar with how the industry truly operated behind closed doors. Trust was placed in people who appeared generous and supportive on the surface, but that trust later proved damaging. She explained that participation escalated over time, estimating involvement with more than 20 individuals across multiple events. That number alone shocked many observers, but what followed raised even more concern. During the federal raids, authorities reportedly recovered recorded material, and she was informed that footage may include her. That revelation suggested the possibility that the scope of exploitation could be larger than initially believed. The lawsuit filed referenced coercion, sex trafficking, and forced labor under applicable statutes, describing a pattern rather than a single incident. At the time these events occurred, speaking out felt impossible. The fear of being dismissed, blamed, or shamed outweighed the hope of being believed. The emotional toll was described as severe. Without support or validation, coping turned inward. Alcohol became a way to numb the experience rather than confront it publicly. Family members were kept unaware out of fear that disclosure would bring embarrassment or judgment. Years later, the decision to speak was framed as an attempt to prevent others from enduring similar harm. The statement emphasized a critical point. Not every accuser is lying, and dismissing all claims without examination allows harmful systems to continue operating unchecked. The focus then shifted to financial consequences surrounding recent asset sales. In October 2025, the matte black private jet long associated with Diddy was sold. High-profile asset sales under legal pressure are often difficult, as buyers hesitate to associate with controversy. Comparable situations in other celebrity cases have shown how property values can be affected when legal scrutiny intensifies. The jet, a Gulfstream G550 manufactured in 2015, featured luxury interiors and long-range capability, with comparable aircraft typically valued between $15 and $30 million. The sale was executed through Love Air LLC, and the aircraft registration later appeared under a foreign jurisdiction. The timing of the sale aligned with escalating legal expenses. Civil lawsuits, federal investigations, and extended litigation require substantial financial resources. If convictions on more severe charges had occurred, federal authorities could have seized significant assets. Selling high-value property before that point preserved liquidity for legal defense. This move mirrored patterns seen in other high-profile cases where assets were sold to avoid potential forfeiture. The final development introduced a major legal shift. On January 1st, 2026, California enacted the Justice for Survivors Act, opening a 2-year window for civil claims previously barred by statutes of limitation. The law allows not only direct perpetrators to be sued, but also organizations and companies accused of enabling or covering up misconduct. Similar legislation in New York led to hundreds of new filings. With California now following suit, legal exposure expanded dramatically. Industry insiders suggested that numerous institutions were reassessing past conduct as accountability mechanisms widened and long-dormant cases gained new legal standing.